Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Primer, Base and Clear. Now if you're on the market for a new spray gun, I'm going to steer you towards DeVilbiss because I've got these on the table and they work brilliantly. All of them for the applications. So we'll move on to primer first and I'll steer you to 3 guns that I'd recommend for primer. One on a budget, 2 that are, the next one will be a little bit dearer, and there's one that you probably can't get, but if you can, you're looking at a second-hand one to get hold of one. So the first one is the old faithful FLG. Now I've used this on the channel in the body shop for clear coat, and it is this gun here that I've used for clear coat in a 1.4. Now you can use this for primer application if you go for a bigger needle. If you are looking at spraying primers, go for your needle setups from a 1.6, 1.8 and a 2mm. They're the dedicated sort of needle setups and nozzle setups for primer because they are thicker bodied paints. You'll notice this when you mix your primers, like your 4:1 mix, it's really thick, so you need that bigger needle and nozzle setup to get that paint out the gun. So the FLG, you can get it in different needle nozzle setups. As I say, this is a 1.4, but a 1.8 up to a 2mm, brilliant for primer. And at the price range of around 140, you've got a cracking DeVilbiss spray gun, guys. And if you wanted to use it for base or clear, just come down your needle sizes to like a 1.3, 1.4, base and clear, absolutely fine. So that's the FLG. There are videos on the channel and review on this gun, so you can see it actually perform. See me dropping some clear coat down with it. So that's the FLG 5. We've got next up is the PRI Pro. Now, PRI Pro's been around for quite some time. It's a heavier gun than the FLG 5, better build quality than the FLG 5, and the price range comes up slightly. You can get this in a 1.3, 1.4, 1.8 and 2mm setup in this, so it'd be good for their applications of primer and base. So a good gun to look out for is the PRI Pro. The next one is the HD Vance. Now these are old guns, and this is the sort of one you would have to sort of hunt down for second hand, but I would highly recommend looking out for one of these guns, guys, because they are brilliant. I've got this one set up for primer in a 2mm. I've got the 410 air cap on this, and you can get the other cap, which is the 430. Both caps are brilliant for primer. It lays it down silky smooth. So this is my go-to gun for primer, is the HD Advance. Brilliant gun, guys, if you can get hold of one. So that's that one. Moving on to sort of base coats, we'll go up in the range and up in the price range. You can use the FLG for base and clear. We're going to move on to the DTR Pro, which is the next one. Now this is the same body as the PRI Pro. The PRI Pro I've got there is just a different colour, but it is exactly the same body. This one is set up for clear coat, so I've got this set up in a 1.2, and this is the T110. Now the caps you can get for the Pro Light, the GTI Pro and the PRI Pro are the T110, which I'll steer to for clear coat. It will put you down a really smooth finish on your clear coat. So that's the T110. If you want to drop base coat down in any of them 3 guns, go for the TE10 or the TE20 for base. If you want to drop some water-based base coats down, go for the HB30. That will drop your water bases down really nice. So GTI Pro, been around for a while, great gun if you can still get on, probably get one of these second hand now, guys, but great robust gun. The things you have to look out for on these are the baffles. Now when you take the nozzle off this and the needle out, this little ring here comes away and you get a little white sort of, it looks like a little O-ring that sits in like a flat disc. If that disc is crimped or pinched in any way, the gun will perform badly. It'll spray badly, it'll spit paint out, so always check the baffle. You can pick them up, they're not expensive. You just take that off, put the new white baffle in, put that back on, tighten that up, and you're good to go. So that's the GTI Pro, another recommended gun. Then DeVilbiss brought out the Pro Light. Now the difference between the Pro and the Pro Light, as you can see are the bodies on these guns. So you've got the Pro, which is a lot sort of like straighter in the body, and it is a heavier gun. Then they brought out the Pro Light, which is a lighter gun, and it's got more of a sort of curved body like the FLG, and I prefer the actual curve on this body. It's just a lot more comfortable in your hand. It's a lighter gun, and you'll notice this if you were using the DTR Pro, spraying a car. Once you've got your cup filled up with paint, you can feel the weight of the gun in your hand, but using the Pro Light, it just feels a lot more lighter in your hand. The caps on these are interchangeable, so you can use the cap from the DTR Pro Light across to the GTR Pro and the PRI Pro. This one is set up for base. This is a 1.3 and it's got the TE10 for base coat, so a brilliant one for base coat is the TE10 in that gun or the PRI Pro. Then DeVilbiss brought out the DB1, which was their clear coat gun, which I've got here. Now the differences between the DB1 and the GTR Pro Light, there is big differences, guys, between these two guns. Now the price tags jumped right up, but you can see the changes when you use these guns between the two. I've used these both on the channel for clear coat. There's videos on the channel. My go-to is the DB1 for clear coat. I find this gun amazing on the trigger because it is silky smooth on the trigger. So if you're a painter like me that feathers the trigger and uses mainly the trigger for your clear to build your clear up and feather it out, it's a really nice trigger. Atomizes really well. Fan pattern is huge on this gun. The dials to the back are more silky smooth than the GTR Pro Light, and you've lost the air adjust here like you have on the gun here. You get the little adjuster at the bottom for your air. They've done away with that and it's all in one here, so you put your reg straight to the bottom. You can get these in the digital with the digital gauges on the top here, but I prefer the ones where you just screw your own air reg to the bottom and then clip your airline in. So a really nice gun by DeVilbiss is the DB1. So if you're looking for a specific clear coat gun, highly recommended. I've got the C2 air cap on this, which speeds the gun up a little bit faster. If you want to slow it down slightly and put an even flatter finish down, go for the C1. Got this in a 1.3 for clear, so that's a DB1. If you're looking for a mini jet gun, you want something smaller, you've got a small compressor at home or in your garage or your workshop, something like a 50 litre, because the bigger guns will take 2 bar and your little compressor will be running and running and running. But if you want to put down some clear coat and base coat, DB1S, guys, all day long for base and clear. Brilliant on smaller compressors like 50 litre because they run low air pressure on these, and these don't be put off by the price tag of these, guys, because it is an amazing gun and it absolutely pumps clear coat out. I've used this in the studio and it puts an immaculate finish down for clear coat. I've got this in the 1mm setup. In the box you also get the 1.2. I've not tried the 1.2 in this yet because the 1mm hammers clear out. So this is the DB1S, same as the DB1, just a lot smaller. So you're getting the really nice dials to the back on this, which are silky smooth, really nice trigger, and you've got the air adjust here where they've done away with that and it's just here, so you turn this to dial your air in. So that's the DB1S, really nice gun. DeVilbiss also do the older ones, which is the SRI. You can get the Pro and Pro Light in the mini jet, and I know someone who's subscribed to the channel who's just done some bike parts with the SRI Pro Light, and that puts down an immaculate finish as well, guys. So if you can get hold of an SRI Pro Light, a little bit cheaper than the DB1S, another great gun if you're looking for something on low air consumption, if you've got a small compressor. So I hope this helps, guys, on primer, base and clear. You can use all these on the table for primer, base and clear, but I would just stick to your FLG for primer in a bigger needle and nozzle, or PRI HD Advance for your primers, and then you can have this end of the table, GTR Pro, GTR Pro Light, DB1, DB1S, base and clears. So I hope that helps. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.